Hi guys, it's Mark from Hero Tech Systems and you're welcome to my YouTube channel where we discuss everything IT ranging from computer networking, Windows and web design. And today we are starting a new lecture series on computer networking, starting from the basics, the foundation of computer networking to the more complex areas of computer networking. And it's a practical based series, and we're going to be working with the Cisco packet tracer software. For today's lesson, which is the first lesson 1, we will be looking at how to install Cisco packet tracer on our computers, and we will look at the overview of the Cisco packet tracer interface, and we'll also create a point-to-point topology using the Cisco packet tracer. So before we go into how to install Cisco packet tracer, I think it's important for those of us people who are beginners for us to cover these different areas so that it's beneficial to them. So we're going to look at what is networking, what is Cisco packet tracer, and then we'll now go forward to how to download and install Cisco packet tracer, understand the Cisco packet tracer interface, and then we'll learn to configure a simple point-to-point topology. Now, computer networking is a term that refers to the connection of devices like computers, mobile phones, servers, etc. to enable them communicate and share resources. So that's basically what computer networking is all about. Now, for those of us who are new to the networking field and has never heard of the term Cisco packet tracer, or you have heard of Cisco but you don't really know who they are. Now, Cisco is a major player in the computer networking market, and they are responsible for manufacturing networking devices like routers, switches, access point, firewalls, and so on and so forth. And then they are also known for creating certain network protocols like routing protocols like EIGRP. Now, Cisco packet tracer is a network simulation tool created by Cisco that allows you create network topologies and mirror modern computer networks. Now, what this simply means is Cisco created a software that allows you create network topologies within the software. And the beautiful thing with this simulation software is that you can configure the CLI of network devices like routers, switches. They simulate the real iOS of these network devices. So the implication of this is that if we didn't have these softwares available for the sake of learning, which is for learning purposes, it means that you would have to literally go and buy the physical devices just to learn, and that is way expensive. So Cisco, to save us from all that, Cisco decided to create a software like this that we can use. So how do we download Cisco packet tracer? To download Cisco packet tracer, all we need to do is visit a website called netarcade.com, and then we'll log in with our Cisco credentials, and we'll be able to download the Cisco packet tracer to our own devices. Now, it doesn't really matter what operating system that our computer is running, our PC is running. So you can download the software whether you're using Windows or you're using Mac or you're using Linux. So what we're going to do now is to go to our browser and then download the Cisco packet tracer. We're going to see the steps to follow to download Cisco packet tracer. So what we need to do is come to this website called netarcade.com. So it takes you to this landing page. Yeah, so what you want to do is to navigate to this login, and then on this drop down list that is here, all we need to do is click on login. Do not be scared if you do not have the credentials. I'll show you how to get the credentials. It is super easy. So we're still, yeah, so we're just going to log in, take us to the login page. So if you observe the login page, you'll find out that it's asking us for our email address. But then if you have not registered before, you will not have an email address to put into that field. So where you need to go to is the sign up button down here. Sign up. So you click on sign up. So if I click on it, it will take me to this form, create account form. So I can fill in the appropriate text for these fields. So I put in my email address, my password, first name, last name, country, and then I scroll down to register. So when you follow the process, you would complete the registration, and then you can now come back to the email address, and with the email you use to register, you fill it into this field. So for my own, it's this. So it's going to sign me in. I'm just going to log in again. Yes, so super easy, nice. So it brings me to their home page, and yes, so on this page, where you want to go to get the download link is the resources tab. Under the resources tab, you come to download packet tracer, and then click on it. So on the download packet tracer page, you have you have a course, an introductory course to packet tracer, which you can register for, and there are certain benefits to it, because you get to learn things like networking essentials, introduction to networks, and so on and so forth. So if you want to do that, you can explore that option. However, if you just want to download, all you need to do is come down here and select the download that is appropriate for your OS, for your operating system, so Windows, Ubuntu, Mac. So if I click on 64-bit download, it's just going to download the that is the application. So all you need to do when the download is done is to install the application, and when you do it properly, this is what you would get after installation, and you've opened the application. It will bring you to this interface. Now this is the Cisco packet tracer interface. If you want to see the version you're running, I think, yeah, let's see. Okay, Yeah, you can see that it's running version 8.0.1. Version 8.0.1 is the version that we are running. So I'll just close this. Now, to have like an overview of the interface, this is the work area. This white space is the work area. If I come down here, I can see that I have my network devices. So if I click on it, under here I can see different network devices with the names of the devices popping up in this field here. So if I put my cursor here, I can see that these are routers, these are switches, this is a hub, wireless devices, security device, that's your ASA firewall, and the cloud. So whatever you have that is clicked here is what you're going to have in this this space here, and then you're going to be seeing different versions of Cisco routers that are listed in this area. So the same thing, if I click on my switches here, I'll see different versions of Cisco switches, like this my layer 3 switch 3560, my 2960 switch. So just the same thing, like this is my wireless device. I have a wireless controller, I have a Meraki wireless device, a lightweight access point, and so on and so forth. So for firewall, I have the ASA 5506 and the ASA 5505. So if you come down to this other one here, the name is end devices. These are my end devices. So like my PC, my laptop, my servers, my printers, my phones, my tablets, my smartphone, and so on and so forth. Another very important tool here is the cable connection, the cable type. So here I have my console cable, you can see it down here. I have my straight through, copper straight through, copper crossover, my serial cable, and so on and so forth. So you can go through the other cables to find out what cables they are. So if you come to this upper section, we have new. You want to open a new page, we have open. So if you have saved the file before, let's say you were working on a project and you saved the project and you want to continue, you can open it from the directory or the folder in which you saved it on your PC. Now this is save. If you want to save a project you are working on, so this is where you should go, print, and then you have other ones here that you can check. Here we have select. So you want to select some routers and switches or devices that you put in here. You can select them. This is inspect. Okay, never really used it. Delete. Yeah, if you want to delete the tools or the devices that you've put in here, and so on and so forth. So you can check. For this one is a PDU, and we use it to test connectivity in Packet Tracer. We will come to that later. So that is the overview, or this is the overview of the interface. Now let us look at how we can set up a point-to-point topology between two laptops, between two hosts, two end devices, two laptops. Now if I come to my end devices here, I'm going to I just hold, or okay, there are two ways you can do it. You can hold and drag it to the work area, or you can click on it and just when it brings up this cross, you just click once and it's going to paste it there. The same, or let me drag and drop this one now, or you can, yeah. there are times when you want to, there are times in Packet Tracer when you're using Packet Tracer and you want to impute many devices of the same type. So instead of dragging one by one, you can just hold your control key and hold down the control key and press the device you want to take into your work area. So it brings up this cross. So you see the cross, even when I click on it, the cross still remains. So I can click as many times I want to do it. So if I don't want to do that, I just go back and click on it and it will stop. Now I want to delete this. All these ones I've put here. I can come to my select. Remember we talked about select just now. So if I click on select, I can hold down my right mouse key, and then drag, and then it highlights all the devices that I want to delete. So I just come to the delete button. So it's going to ask me, do you want to delete the 6 selected items? So delete, and they are all gone. So to change the shape, to change the icon back to default, all I need to do is come and click on select here, and it changes back to default. So I have my 2 laptops. I am going to connect these 2 laptops so that they can share resources in using a point-to-point topology. So what I need to do is to connect a cable. If you are doing it for real, like in production, or in a production network, or in real life, what you want to do is to use a LAN cable to connect both systems together. So you connect one end of the LAN cable to the LAN port of one PC, and then the other end of the LAN cable to the other port, or the LAN port of the other PC. So I'm going to use my straight through cable. Notice that when I use my straight through cable, the triangle here that indicates the state or the status of the LAN port is red. Now the red triangle means that the status of the LAN port is down, and if it's down, you cannot send resources between both systems because they have to be up and running. So why is it down? It is because I'm using a straight through cable. Now it is very important for the Cisco exam to understand what kind of cable that you should use when you are connecting or creating topologies. What kind of LAN cables are you to use? A straight through? Are you to use a crossover cable? Now if you don't understand these terminologies, they are new to you, you don't understand when to use a LAN cable, when to use a straight through, and when to use a crossover, do not worry. I have created a summarized networking material, and you will find the material right there, a link to the material right there in the description. So I'm just going to delete this. I can click on delete, and then just come here and delete the link I want to delete. Come back to my select, and I'll pick the crossover cable. So notice that when I connect it, the status of the LAN port for each of the computers comes up. That is indicated by the green triangle right here. So for devices to communicate on a network, you have to assign them an IP address. An IP address is basically an identity for devices on the network. So you have to give both of them an identity for them to communicate. So which is what I am going to do now. So if I click on this one, I want to set the IP address for this one here, this first laptop. So to do that, I need to come to, I have different tabs here. I come to my desktop tab and click on IP configuration. So I'm going to be using static IP configuration. There are two ways you can assign IP address in networking, either statically, which is by hand manually, or automatically through the use of a DHCP server. We will look at these in lessons that are to come. So I'm going to give it an IP address of 10.0.0.2 using a subnet mask of 255.0.0.0, which has a CIDRO of /8. So that is for this system. I do the same thing for this one. So I'm going to give this 10.0.0.3. You can't give them the same IP address. If you give them the same IP address, they will not communicate. So now I've given both of them IPs on the same subnet, and what I can do now is test connectivity between the two laptops. And in networking, there is a command that we use to test connectivity, and we call it ping. So I'm just going to go to the command prompt of this PC. Yes, and then I will ping the IP address of the other PC, which is the remote PC, 10.0.0.3. So I'm getting, you can see I am getting reply. I am getting replies. So I close this one, and then if I ping the other one, 10.0.0.2, I'm also getting replies. Now this is an indication that both devices are communicating. You can also test connectivity using this PDU, this simple PDU. So if I drop this message, this envelope, this icon that looks like an envelope, if I drop it here and I drop it here again on the second one, I can see the status here that says successful. If it fails, then it shows that there is a problem with the connectivity, with the network. But if it's successful, then it shows that the connection and the connectivity is okay. So that is how to create a simple point-to-point topology in Packet Tracer. So we have seen how to install and how to download and install Packet Tracer. We have looked at the interface of Packet Tracer, and we have also seen how to create a simple point-to-point topology in Cisco Packet Tracer. Now in subsequent videos we will be building on this. So if you found the video useful, please subscribe to our channel. Also like the video and hit the notification bell so that you will be notified anytime we upload a subsequent video. And there were some things that I mentioned here which if you are a beginner, it will be alien to you. So I talked about CIDRO value. I talked about IP addressing, static and dynamic IP addressing. I talked about having both devices in the same network. Now, if all this is new to you, remember earlier I told you that there is this, I created a summarized guide to computer networking, and this guide is very useful. It contains bullet points that explains computer networking technologies in a very easy to understand manner, or easy to understand fashion. So the link to that guide, the link to that ebook is in the description. If you're interested in learning computer networking, please click the link and download the guide. So thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you in future videos.